Woo! Happy spooky, almost Halloween, everyone. Uh, just say hi in the comments if you're already on the stream and ready to go. We're probably gonna wait just a couple of minutes just to see, make sure everyone has enough time to hop on the stream and get ready. I think it seems like most people. Yeah, just to make sure that everyone is online, ready to go. So while we're waiting for everyone to show up, I'm gonna do a quick run through what tonight's rounds are going to be. Everything's got a bit of a spooky Halloween vibe. What's up, ghouls? So let's have a look at tonight's rounds. I'm all pumpkined out. Thank you very much. So round one, starting classic, is general knowledge, but spooky. So I think you can guess what that's going to involve. Standard. Today's beer. I'm on the Ursus again, but there will be some Ursus variants for sharp-eyed viewers if I drink fast enough. Yeah, it's standard general knowledge, but they're kind of spooky. Round two, treat or treat sweets. We're going to be comparing one treat to another, similar treats. But I've already said too much. Oh, little hint there. And round three, gourd gaffs, pumpkin epic fails, hashtag. I know how hashtags work. So we're gonna see some messed up looking pumpkins. Round four, costume copycats. Halloween costumes that maybe are pretending to be something other than what they claim to be. Written in the Stars, returning from last week. So for those of you who joined us last week, thanks for the vote of confidence, return quizzes, and welcome to anyone new who's just tuning in. Yeah, Written in the Stars. You have to choose whether an online rating is 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5 stars based on the content of the review. Franken clips, we've stitched together some terrifying clips from completely ill-suited parts. All will become clear when we reach round 6. Round 7, deadliest match. It's not Alaskan snow crab. We're going to be pitting some of the big screen's most brutal killers against one another. And we'll be closing out the night with even spookier general knowledge. Just another general knowledge round to top and tail the evening, again with a Halloween vibe. All right, and we're coming up on 5 minutes past the hour, so I think it's fair to say people who are here are here. And if they join us partway through round 1, I'll be repeating all the questions at the end of that round anyway, so they'll be able to catch up. All right, you can see here is the scoreboards as it stands. Wow, we have a ton of teams today. Maybe, I don't know, maybe just plain C if someone accidentally hit enter there. But otherwise, hopefully you're all watching. Hopefully you're all ready to go. Why? Sorry, little tech issue there with the camera, but hopefully that's given the last latecomers time to get into the stream, and we'll start round one now. So, kicking things off with a general knowledge round. Everything is a little bit Halloweeny. We had just a few people in our first run through last week who were having a bit of trouble with the forms. So just remember, don't hit submit until you've got all 5 of your answers in. So at the end of this round, you'll be prompted to enter a number. Am I still muted? All right. So at the end of this round, you'll be prompted to enter a number. That's to gain access to the answer sheet for round 2. So I'm going to give you that number at the end once we've gone through the answers for this round. So question 1 for Halloweeny general knowledge. Halloween is descended from the ancient Celtic festival Samhain. I'm getting as close as I can with my pronunciation there. What is the correct spelling of Samhain? Is it Seawinn, Sabhoin, Samhain, or Sahvinn? So the correct spelling of Samhain. So one more time, that's the spelling of the ancient Celtic festival Samhain, on which Halloween is based, from which it's descended. You'll see the 4 options there on your screen. And on to question 2. So from base to tip, what order do the stripes on the American Halloween staple candy corn go in? So is that orange, yellow, white, white, yellow, orange, yellow, orange, orange, yellow, white, white, yellow, orange, yellow, white, orange, yellow, orange, white. Bit of a tongue twister. So you'll see them all there. Just try and visualize. Probably less familiar to most of you. I think it's mostly Brits on the stream today. Adds a little bit of challenge, doesn't it? So try to visualize candy corn. We've all seen them in American telly and movies. What order? So I want from the widest part, the kind of triangle shaped, from the widest part to the tip. All right, question 3. Halloween is, of course, celebrated on October 31st. So still a few days from now. But on which day does the similar but distinct Mexican holiday Dia de Muertos fall? So upon which day is the Mexican holiday Dia de Muertos? So if you saw the Pixar movie Coco a couple of years ago, that was all about that holiday. I think I haven't actually played that much Guacamelee, but I think that's kind of related as well. So yeah, you've got all the dates are all in a row: October 30th, October 31st, November 1st, November 2nd. So it's around the same time as Halloween, but which of those days is it? And question 4. Again, kind of a little bit of American culture here. So this year, the TV special, It's the Great Pumpkin, Charlie Brown, will not air on American network television for the first time since it first aired in 1966, after the distribution rights were purchased by which online streaming service? So Netflix, Apple Plus, Hulu, or Disney Plus. So which online streaming service has purchased the distribution or the broadcast rights for It's the Great Pumpkin, Charlie Brown? It's like the Peanuts Halloween special. You know, Linus, he believes in the Great Pumpkin. It's like the Santa Claus of Halloween. And question 5, our final Halloweeny general knowledge question for round 1. Where would you be most likely to run into a vampire bat? Is it in a ruined Aztec human sacrifice altar in Mexico? In a creepy vampire's castle in Transylvania? At a spooky witches cemetery in Salem, Massachusetts? Or in the lair of a fearsome Komodo dragon in Indonesia? So which of those places are you most likely to find a vampire bat? Mexico, Transylvania in Southeast Europe, Salem, Massachusetts in the Northeast United States, or Indonesia? So if anyone needs any in particular, oh yeah, that sound is my laptop fan. I'm trying to keep it as far from the mic as possible. It's a bit noisy. Gonna have to take it in for a service. And let's have a look. What's next? Oh yeah. So if anyone needed anything repeated in particular, I'm gonna go through 1 to 5 quickly one time, and then if there's still something you need repeated, let me know. So question 1, if you can hit back, as long as you haven't hit submit, you can go back and check your answers. So question 1, Halloween is descended from the ancient Celtic festival Samhain. What is the correct spelling? Question 2, from base to tip, what order do the stripes on candy corn go? Question 3, what date is Dia de Muertos in Mexico? Question 4, which online streaming service purchased the distribution rights to It's the Great Pumpkin, Charlie Brown, which is going to take it off of American network television for the first time in like 50 years, over 50 years. And question 5, where would you be most likely to run into a vampire bat? All right, so that's the questions in. Obviously, you've got a few seconds to just think over your answers, hit submit. I'm just going to check the chat, see if there's anything anyone needs repeated in particular. No one seems to be. Oh, am I well choppy right now? Stream really choppy? Okay, so no one's asking for any particular questions to be repeated. What's everyone's, while we're getting the scores tabulated, what's everyone's COVID Halloween plans like? Another little mini party in your COVID bubbles? Gonna get into COVID costumes? What are you gonna dress up as, or are you just gonna sack it off? And yeah, if you've got any, yeah, it just does that sometimes. It's either fan or choppy. Yeah, if you've got any concepts um, for couples costumes for me and Jessica, who's my behind the scenes producer and everything, makes the whole show run. If you've got any couples costumes ideas, leave them in the comments. We're thinking about maybe the Proclaimers. All right. So we're just waiting on Team Ectoplasm to get their answers in. And then we'll be able to see how the teams are standing at the moment. So come on, Team Ectoplasm, chop chop. All right. So no, Team Ectoplasm is not in. Is not in. Right. I see. So we can progress to. Oh, I'm not. I haven't watched it yet, so we can't do the anything related to the new Borat movie. Okay, so that means we can progress to looking at the scores any second now. But yeah. Yeah. So am I on? All right. So so we'll go through the answers first, and because everyone's got their answers in, so no risk of cheating. So we'll run through them quickly. Answer to question one was with typically tricky Gaelic spelling. Samhain is Samhain. Question two, candy corns. They're kind of supposed to look like actual kernels of corn. So the wide base is yellow, so that if you put them all together like an actual corn cob, you'll get yellow on the outside, and then it's orange in the middle and white for the center of the cob in the tip, on the tip of the candy corn. Question three. So Dia de los Muertos is a Catholic holiday celebrated in most Spanish-speaking countries on November 1st, but the distinctly Mexican Dia de Muertos dropped the loss and moved it to the second in order to secularize the holiday and make it more of like a Mexican national day than a religious thing. Question four. This year, it's the Great Pumpkin. Charlie Brown is going to move to the Apple Plus streaming service, along with all the other Peanuts holiday specials. It's, a sad day, a sad year. One more insult that 2020 throws at us. And question five. Vampire bats are native to Central and South America, so you'd be most likely to run into one in some Aztec ruins. All right, so now we can see the scoreboard. Can we sort that by score? Yeah, here we go. So bringing up the rear, here we are. So we can see the top score. Wow, absolutely blowing everyone else out of the water. We've got two teams joined for first. That's Don't Scare Bears and Joe Buden. Everyone else in a pretty tight pack there, and definitely two strong contenders out of the gate. So we'll move on to round two, trick or sweets. So the way this round works is, I'm going to give you the magic number in a second. I'm just going to explain the round first. So the way that the round works is you're going to get the names of 5 American candy bars, as they call them, chocolate bars, as we would say. And what you have to do is choose from the little drop-down list to which is the British equivalent. So in all cases, it's either like literally the same exact product, like repackaged with a different name, or it's extremely similar. So we've got 5 different British candies, 5 different American candies, and you need to match them together. So the magic number to begin the round is 701. And the so the ones you can see will be Mounds, Three Musketeers, Milky Way, Whoppers, and 100 Grand. Oh, people getting heated already. Okay, so those are Mounds, Three Musketeers, Milky Way, Whoppers, and 100 Grand. All right, so give you a few more seconds to get that done. What were your favorite sweets when you were a kid? Personally, I liked. Oh, someone. So the concept of the rounds is the 5 prompts. You can see the 5 questions are candies that are available in the UK or from British manufacturers or for a UK market, and from you have to match them to an American candy. Or wait, Jessica, can they see the American candy and they need to choose a British one? Either way around, you need to match one British candy to one American candy that's like the same thing. So if there was a British candy that was like a banana flavored chocolate bar and an American one that was a banana flavored chocolate bar and they had different names, you'd match them together. A chomp and a packet of Polos for cheap mint chocolate. That's grim. um, yeah, I was a Barrett's fruit salad fan because you could buy them loose for like 1p, proper penny sweets. And Bruisers, thank you, Cleo, the often overlooked cousin of the fruit salads. Forget blackjacks. It was always kind of promoted like fruit salad and blackjack, like they were the twin chewy like stars of the Barrett family. But blackjacks are rubbish. No one wants a chewy licorice. It's obviously all about fruit salad and bruisers. Felix, bruisers are like apple and blackcurrant flavored fruit salad. And the other thing I really liked was any of the like a Wham bar, Vimto bar, Iron Brew bar. So anything that's like sour and like can pull your teeth out was a big staple. And also they were good because they were like they were 10p. I basically most of my most of my favorites were determined by what was the cheapest. Like why pay 25 or 30p for a Mars bar, whatever it was at the time. But yeah, guys, come on, get your answers in. Yeah, well, I mean, that's called just how much does it cost, Felix? Because blackjack's all 1p. So it's very easy to measure stuff in terms of how much, how many blackjacks it could buy. Blackjacks are rubbish, though. Why were you eating blackjacks? All right. So we're just going to get the last few results in. All right, I see. So to weigh is value to you. I mean, is anything as valuable as 100 blackjacks to your childhood self? anything with like actual chocolate on was a bit too expensive, really. Apart from, as Dan mentioned earlier, the chomp and also the finger of fudge, which is really just the lesser version of a chomp. I don't know why you'd want a chomp, basically a chomp but not chewy. Because it's not like real fudge, is it? I'd rather have a carb, but I don't like blackjacks. I might choose a million fruit salads. Or like 500,000 fruit salads and 500,000 bruises. That was, Dan, a big part of why I would choose a certain sweet was if I could buy it with like pennies that I found on the floor. That's why I think fruit salads and bruises featured so heavily for me. Curly Whirly, good. Yeah, Curly Whirly's like the fancy version of a chomp, isn't it? It's a bit more ornate, but the same basic concept. Costs like 5p more, so it's like a chomp lux. All right, so it looks like everyone has gotten their answers in. So we can start going through the answers now. All right, so let's see. Oh, we got them here. So first, Mounds. It's a bar of sweetened coconut covered in chocolate, which is just like a bounty. And then the next couple ones, we've got the light and fluffy Milky Way that we have in the UK is sold in America as a Three Musketeers. And then what Americans would call a Milky Way is a Mars bar, what we would call a Mars bar. And then in America, Whoppers are chocolate covered malt balls, very similar to Maltesers. I will say, not as good as Maltesers. I've had them, they just don't, the malty center does not melt in your mouth the same way. And 100 grand, it's a chocolate and rice crispy bar with like a toffee caramel filling. So yeah, basically a toffee crisp. I see people mentioning uh, mentioning Freddo inflation. Very hot topic. What are they now? Like 60p? Unimaginable to me. Unimaginable. When I think that Freddos were 5p, it makes me think like this is how like old men in the pub who can remember paying like 8p for a pint feel. It's just I can't believe the price change. Oh yeah, let's get those scores up. Oh no, oh we already saw them while I was blathering on. Okay, so round three, gourd gaffs. So what we're going to see here are some fucked up pumpkins. Basically, there was an attempt to carve a pumpkin to resemble a famous figure, and you got to guess who it was supposed to be. So we'll see the first one here. Who is it? Who is that pumpkin supposed to be? Type your answers in. This is probably the easiest one. And we'll have a look at the second pumpkin. All right. This is the only pumpkin we're seeing unlit. This is where we're seeing orange pumpkin flesh with a hole carved into it and no light streaming through. Makes it a bit harder to read, a little bit of extra challenge factor. But yeah, who do you think that is? All right, this one has had a right mess made of it. But if you squint right, you might just be able to get it. This is I would say this one. It's a hard one, but when we give the answers, you'll be like, oh yeah, I do see it. All right. there. So this person obviously did not use a stencil and thought they could just basically freehand it. Um, yeah, I mean, just see if you can guess who it's supposed to be anyway. I mean, a very, very ambitious pumpkin carving for sure. And finally, I think they've taken the same artistic approach as the previous pumpkin. They've just basically free-handed a line drawing onto a pumpkin that they've scored in. I think, you know, they're not exactly the most gifted artists in the world, but you might still be able to get it. And yeah, so all the pictures will be on the question form that you have, and that will give you a chance to get your answers in. But because the scoring on this one might take a little bit longer, we are going to just take a 2 minute little break to calculate scores in a second. All right. Sorry about the audio levels there. We'll try and get that sorted before our next mini break. We're still waiting for Batshit and Toastbusters to get their guesses in. Almost everyone else is in and scores tabulated. So just two teams. Let's get those in nice and quick, so we can move on to the next rounds. What's the most ambitious pumpkin any of you have carved? Jessica's from a real pumpkin carving family. So when we went out there a few years ago, it was the first time I really got my hands dirty with the orange stuff.
Okay.
Have we got the last two teams are in? Okay, fantastic. So we can start doing the answers now. We'll run through. So the first one, let's have a look, was, I don't know if we're going to see them now. Dan says, I carved the back of a cat with its tail up, showing its bum hole. All right, so the first one is slightly mashy. I think a couple of people guessed Optimus Prime, which I can see now. It was Iron Man. The next one, I think most people got this one because such an iconic pose. Barack Obama in that hope or change or whatever the slogan was pose. This one, it was as challenging as I expected, but you'll see it now. The reference image is Ron Burgundy, or Anchorman, or Will Ferrell. All of those would have been acceptable answers. But yeah, let's have a look at the next one. This was a tough one, but I think a few people got it. They've gone with a very kind of simple style, and it's Biggie Pumpkin. And then the final one turned out to be the easiest because just such a caricaturable face. It's young Beebs, pre-tattoos, pre-yummy. That is that long hair young Beebs. All right. Great job, guys. Are we going to have a quick look at the scores in between rounds? Or, well, round 4. I'll explain. Oh, here they are. Okay, so we'll have a look. Do we have a new leader? Okay, Don't Scare Bears starting to edge away from Joe Budden, but the Spooky Chifkas and Pine Tree Inc. are also starting to close the gap on Joe Budden. So, just 5 points between those 4 teams out in front, but we've still got more than half of the quiz to go. So, really, it's still anyone's game, but 4 early favorites. All right, so the concept of round 4, costume copycats, we're going to give you the name of a copyright infringement adjacent Halloween costume and its trademark safe name. So, for example, if we said that the costume was called Creepy Husband, you could all guess what it was. What do you reckon, guys? Creepy Husband. It's Gomez Adams. We didn't use that one because it's a bit too hard. Most husbands are creepy. But yeah, we'll have a look or we'll hear, before we have a look, 5 more of these names, and you're going to try to guess what the costume is, who it is. All right, so number 1, Kansas Sweetie. Who might people be dressing as for Halloween that the costume maker who fears litigation might call Kansas Sweetie? Kansas. What are they calling Kansas? Just a lot of sky. All right, the second one is 80s purple musician. '80s purple musician. I mean, I think if you this is something like machine learning, like just a word cloud machine could probably spit out an answer for this one. The next one, Hungry Rebel Girl. So I think the first 2 kind of warm up ones, but we're to think a bit more laterally for this one. Hungry Rebel Girl. So what question? It might be called Hungry Rebel Girl. The fourth one, Juice Demon. I'm a bit of a juice demon myself. Bit of grapefruit juice on a hangover. Oh, yeah, I'm a juice demon. Yeah, that was Hungry Rebel Girl. So Rebel Girl, like the song. Hungry, like I always feel. Hungry Rebel Girl. I'm hungry for apples sometimes. I'm just generally a hungry guy. So that the fourth one, once again, was Juice Demon. And finally, Lost Adult. The fifth one, Lost Adult. Lost as in lost and found. Adult as in not a child. All right, and that is actually the halfway point of the quiz. So we're going to take an intermission so people can use the loo, get a new drink. I'm certainly going to do both of those things. You can get all your answers in. I'll run through all five one more time before we take the break. Number one, Kansas Sweetie. Number two, 80s Purple Musician. Number three, Hungry Rebel Girl. Number four, Juice Demon. And number five, Lost Adult. All right, so we will be back after the break. See you in 5 minutes.
Save my life tonight. And I'm tired of feeling like a secret I can keep. I'm letting it go, I say it. So will you set me free? There's nowhere I can go inside my head. There's no place left to hide where your memory and found me end. Tonight, 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 there's nothing left to dream. And this broken lullaby is all that's left to sing. I keep waiting for you, I can't make it without you next to me. Oh no, no, no. Tonight, 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 I opened up my eyes. Tonight, 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 I'm wide awake and
All right. So, hope everyone is rested and watered after the break, and we'll go through these. So actually, we're waiting for two more teams. One of them just popped in. So I think just one more team now, and then we'll be able to go through the answers. All right. So let me just see which team we're still waiting on. Nine double H Hell. 9H Hell. Still waiting on your answers, guys. So as soon as those come in, we'll be ready to go through and move on to the next round. How was the audio level on that break? Closer or further from my speaking volume? Just want to maximize the comfort of your ears. Maybe some ASMR. All right. Glad to hear that. All right. Come on, 9H Hell. Chop chop. Can't take all day. Do you need me? I'll read through them one more time. The prompts. They were Kansas Sweetie, 80s purple musician, hungry rebel girl, juice demon, and lost adult. But we're gonna have to finalize scores soon. Everyone else has been in for a while now. So I don't know if they're still on the loo. I don't want to like cut them off, but obviously we got to keep the show on the road. So we'll say like another 30 seconds to get your answers in, and then it's going to be just that's your last chance to get them in. Oh, 9HH Hell said they're just trying to get the form back. Sorry. Okay. So 9HH Hell is not in the chat. Yeah, we can message a link directly to that round. Oh yeah, it's in the link in the chat, triviamystery.com answers. You'll be able to click on the link that takes you straight to the rounds that we're onto. So in that case, obviously, I'm not heartless. But they have their answers in. Okay. Lovely, jubbly. All right, in that case, we can start running through the answers and we'll see the pictures of the outfits in question. So first, we'll start with the two easy ones that we started with. The first one was Kansas Sweetie. And of course, there's not a ton of pop culture associated with Kansas. It's not Patrick Mahomes, and that's Missouri anyway. It's Dorothy from The Wizard of Oz. 80s purple musician. Who else could it be other than Prince or the artist formerly known as Prince? Both of those fine. Hungry Rebel Girl, Katniss Everdeen. I think we were giving out half points if you said Hunger Games. We were looking for the name of the character, but yeah, Hungry Rebel Girl, Katniss Everdeen. Juice Demon is Beetlejuice. And finally, The Lost Adult, Halloween Party mainstay. I don't think I've ever been to one where there wasn't a Wally. Or Waldo for our American viewers. Quizzes. Okay. So let's have a look at how the scores stand after that. Don't Scare Bears maintaining their lead. The Spookachifkas making, I don't know how Spook slots in there, have with a 5 out of 5 perfect round, have come within half a point of Joe Budden. So that's really that race is really tightening in second place, and of course both of them within striking distance of the leads. Obviously, last week those of us rejoining us saw a shocking upset. So shocking it took us by surprise as well. And we are going to move on to round 5, our first post-intermission round. It's Written in the Stars. And so in this round, we're going to look at the Google ratings left by visitors to the Skeleton Pact Paris catacombs. So what you have to do is I'm going to read the content of the review, and you have to tell me what rating they gave it out of 5 stars. So just so it's not too difficult, there's only one rating, one review for each star rating. So there's 1 1-star rating, 1 2-star rating, 1 3-star rating, and so on. So you just have to match the 5 reviews to the 5 possible star ratings that they could have given. And we are going to start off with a pretty succinct review of the catacombs. Just a bunch of freaking skulls. So the person who left the review, just a bunch of freaking skulls. Where does that rank on a 1 to 5 scale, 1 to 5-star scale? Where does it sound like that people rated the catacombs? All right, the second review that we're going to hear is Interesting Place. May God bless the dead. I think a solemn, serious, and simple review. That's the whole thing. Interesting Place. May God bless the dead. So where does that rank? 1 to 5. And of course, you can go back and change these as long as you don't hit submit first. If you hear another one and you're like, oh, I think actually that's a bit more of a 3-star, then you can change things as we go along, and I'll repeat them all at the end. We didn't choose any as long as some of the ones were last week. Review number 3. It didn't live up to expectations. The skulls lining the walls of my hotel room. I also found a decaying finger in soup. There aren't any good restaurants, so I have to eat what they serve there. All around a bad place. Also, the Wi Fi is bad. So this Joker is reviewing the catacombs as if they were a hotel. What a card. And once again, it didn't live up to expectations. The skulls lining the walls of my hotel room. I also found a decaying finger in soup. There aren't any good restaurants, so I have to eat what they serve there. All around a bad place. Also, the Wi Fi is bad. So, where does this joke review land? Yeah, so for those of you taking part, you just choose. You should see 1 to 5 stars. I see some people having a bit of trouble with the format. If it's open properly on your phone, you should be able to choose 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5 stars. So that review there, where someone is jokingly reviewing the catacombs as though they were a hotel. Do you think they were leaving a 1 star review, a 2 star review, a 3 star review? You choose, you just fill in the appropriate number of stars. Okay, the fourth review that we're going to hear. 3 hours to wait in line to see a lot of skulls and femurs in dark, wet tunnels, about 130 steps down a spiral staircase. It was interesting. I would not do it again. I think that's a personal favorite of mine. So once again, 3 hours to wait in line to see a lot of skulls and femurs in dark, wet tunnels, about 130 steps down a spiral staircase. It was interesting. I will not do it again. Where does that land? 1 to 5. How do you think that person felt about the Paris catacombs? And the final review that we're going to hear, extremely straight and to the point. A lot of frogs here. Very good. A lot of frogs here. Very good. So one of our participants having trouble just with question 1 in particular. Anyone else having problems with question 1? Yeah. So you should be able to refresh the page with before you hit submit, and it should remember the answers you've already got in there. But yeah, just if anyone else is having trouble with question 1, we can see like if it's the way the form is set up, or if just some people need to refresh the page. Sometimes it just might not have loaded properly the first time. So I'm going to go through those one more time so that now you've heard all of them and started thinking about 1 to 5, 1 to 5. You can just confirm your suspicions. So number 1, just a bunch of freaking skulls. Number 2, it didn't live up to expectations. The skulls lining the wall of my hotel room. I also found a decaying finger in the soup. There aren't any good restaurants, so I have to eat what they serve there. All around a bad place. Also, the Wi-Fi is bad. 3 hours. Oh, wait, I've got it in the wrong order. Question, review number 2 was interesting place. May God bless the dead. Number 3 was the hotel one. I skipped over the short one. So it didn't live up to expectations. Review number 4 was 3 hours to wait in line to see a lot of skulls and femurs in dark, wet tunnels, about 130 steps down a spiral staircase. It was interesting. I would not do it again. And the last one, a lot of frogs here. Very good. Which one do you need read again? All right, so let's have a look. The answers should be coming in now. Yeah, most teams in. This is a bit of a tough one, bit of a randomizer, just to keep things interesting towards the end. And we are just waiting for the Pine Tree Inc. Pine Tree Inc. And then we will be ready to move on. No, wait, they're in. They're in. They're in. Okay. All right. Is that everyone? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I think that's everyone in. So let's start going through the answers to that round. Do I have a Halloween themed tattoo for this quiz? No, I don't. Maybe I should get one. What's a Halloween themed tattoo I could get? I've got they're all marine related, so I don't know, a vampire squid, something like that. Yeah, something to consider for the future. All right, so I think we can start going through the answers now. I think everyone's got them in. So the first review we heard was, "It's just a bunch of freaking skulls." The reviewer clearly was not impressed with the skulls because they left a 1-star review. I'm not going to get any of those. Question 2. We heard the succinct, so succinct, I almost skipped right over it. Interesting place. May God bless the dead, which was rather understated level of positivity from what was a 4-star review. The third review that we heard was the comedian who was reviewing the catacombs as though they were a hotel. They left 2 stars. Kind of seemed like a shoe-in for 1 star. Then the fourth one we heard, someone who was unimpressed with how long they had to wait and counted the steps down, but they signed off with, "It was interesting. I would not do it again," which is a good balance of positive and negative for a 3-star review. And finally, the short but sweet, "A lot of frogs here. Very good." Were they referring to the amphibians or the locals? Well, I guess we'll never know, but we do know that they left a 5-star review. Oh dear, no, I'm not liking some of these suggestions that are rolling in. Um, let's check if we're able to see that scoreboard and see how things stand. All right, Don't Scare Bears maintaining the lead. Joe Budden still keeping half a point ahead of the Spookshifkers. And the Toastbusters are nipping at their ankles. Still 2 rounds to go, so I mean, some of the teams are pretty much out of the running, but definitely at least those top 5 or 6 teams still have everything to play for. So next we have Frankenclips. In this round, we're going to show you a short film stitched together from stock footage like a horrifying homunculus. So say what you see, and it will form the name of a horror movie. So, for example, if you saw a clip of a wicker picnic basket followed by a clip of a man walking down the road, you'd know that the answer was Wicker Man. Wicker basket and a man. Wicker Man is a horror movie. Got it? Okay, good. So let's have a look at the first clip. All right, so those clips are in the forms. So if you need to watch them again, we're just going to show them once in here. So just say what you see. It's like watching Catchphrase, isn't it? but you're making the name of a horror movie. Yes. The question in the chat there. Every clip, every part of each of the videos is part of the clip. And yeah, just saw the second one there. All right, that was the third one there. So obviously this round might take a bit longer, so we'll probably take a little mini break after this round so you can get your answers in. Let's have a look at the fourth clip. That's probably the hardest one, but a personal favorite. And the fifth and final clip. All right, so you've got the 5 clips. I could see some funny guesses there, and yeah, we're going to take a little mini break so you can rewatch the clips, think about what your answers might be, and get them in. But yeah, this is probably one of the trickier rounds, so we're going to give you a couple extra minutes to get it finished. All right, see you in 2. Am I unmuted? Hey guys, Spooky MJ and Spooky Snake. Just saying, we've got 3 or 4 teams have got their answers in. This is a tricky one, so yeah, we're gonna give you a few more minutes. Just don't go anywhere. Don't. We'll play some more thinking music in a bit, but we want to give you a few minutes without interruptions. You can watch the videos. In which case, I should probably stop talking. But see you again in a couple minutes. Uh, just to clarify the question on screen, they're all horror movies. They're not necessarily Halloween movies, but they are all horror movies. Okay, guys, I think we're going to say one more minute. Why am I off? Yeah, sorry about that. One more minute. Yeah, it's just so like you just say like one word that could describe the clip you've seen. I will say of the answers we've gotten in so far, each clip, at least one team has gotten it. So they're not impossible. It is a hard round, but it's not impossible. um, yeah, so I'm going to say one more minute for everyone else to get their answers in. If you think you know like one of them, just get it in because otherwise it's going to be cut off and you won't get that point. So just like have guesses that people have put in guess answers. But anything that you All right. Yeah, I think so. Someone mentioned first question. I had no idea. I think that first question really was throwing a lot of people off. I didn't realize it was going to be the hardest one. I really thought question 4 was gonna get people messed up, but actually, several people got question 4. So I think everyone actually got their answers in. Did we? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yeah, everyone got their answers in. Lovely jubbly. And yeah, most people got one at least. So we'll go through the answers now. The first one, horse staple. So the moon clip is night. It's nighttime. It's a mare, nightmare. It's on the turning the light on. Elm. It's an elm tree, and it's a street scene. Nightmare on Elm Street. There we go. There is a certain logic to it. Let's have a look at the second clip. Rosemary, the common herb, and it's a baby. So I think most teams got this one. It's Rosemary's Baby. The fine art of drag. In the next clip, we see a butcher shop with some meat, drag meat. The number 2, and a jolly depiction of hell. Drag meat to hell. Drag me to hell. Sam Raimi, underrated. Tanks rolling through a city. It's an invasion. It's not actually an invasion, but it represents invasion. That's the form-fitting torso section of a dress or a bodice. And those are some nachos. Invasion, bodice nachos, invasion body snatchers, invasion of the body snatchers. That is a bit of a more torturous one. Yeah, we gave you that one. We gave that one to Batshit, who said, like, drag me down to hell. Close enough, I thought. And the final one, ginger. There are some distracting aromatics there as well, but the focus is ginger, and this lady's taking her camera out to take some snaps. That's right, another classic entry into the lycanthropy as metaphor for puberty genre, ginger snaps. So let's take a look at the standings there. The Spugchifkas had a belter of a round. They have overtaken Joe Budden, but they're still lagging behind Don't Scare Bears. Definitely still within the reach, but that does rely on Don't Scare Bears having a couple of bad rounds, which, as the night has gone so far, you'll be lucky. So let's have a look at the sixth round. Well, not every single person has heard of every single movie, but that's just how these go. It's a cult classic, Ginger Snaps. Um, all right. So let's have a look. Round seven, deadliest match. So in this round, we're going to give you the names of five classic slasher movie villains, and we need you to to match them with the number of on-screen kills that they have to their name. These totals do include remakes and reboots. So the the five killers that we have for you today are Chucky from the Child's Play series, the possessed child's doll, possessed with the spirit of a dead serial killer. Leatherface from the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Michael Myers from the the granddaddy of the genre, the Halloween series. Jason Voorhees from what some might uncharitably call the Halloween knockoff Friday the 13th series, and Freddy Krueger, maybe the most iconic, the most stylish of the classic slasher villains. So we've got Chucky, Leatherface, Michael Myers, Jason Voorhees, and Freddy Krueger, and we need you to match those to how many people they have killed on screen. All right. Well, let me just see what is happening here with Batshit's score calculator. Yes, yeah, that is indeed 3 points. Okay, so yeah, we've got those five killers. So all obviously classic slasher series. What do you reckon is the best horror movie? We've had a couple of movie-ish rounds now. Halloweeny or otherwise, what's the ultimate horror movie? I think The Shining's kind of like the obvious go-to answer for. I don't know. If someone asked me, I'd say that to sound filmy. But the horror movie I've probably watched more times than any other is Brain Dead, the really like practical effects, super gory, pre Lord of the Rings Peter Jackson movie, which I must have seen at least 50 times. Jessica, I think, is partial to Tucker and Dale versus Evil. Uh, but yeah, gonna give you a couple of moments with your thoughts while you try to think, well, who's the most killy? So yeah, let's get those answers in. Going to give you a minute to think about them first. All right, Killer Condom and Rabid Grannies. Is that one movie? Oh, excellent films. Not familiar with either of them. Um, I think I got the gist of both of them, though. I mean, Killer Condom sounds like it could be a Cronenberg movie. But yeah, Killer Condom and the Rabid Granny, Killer Condom and the Rabid Grannies, uh, punk band name right there. Yeah, horror movies like to They love a sex metaphor, uh, venereal disease, and sex addiction, and all of that. It's right for body horror, isn't it? There's a ton of them. It Follows was a good recent one, but yeah, what's the Cronenberg movie with all the with the sex virus? Slither was kind of J5 enhance. Slither was kind of sex metaphor as well. Zombiever sounds adorable, but like, does it just turn trees into zombies? Although actually, in the Evil Dead, zombie trees are no good. With I think do alien invasion movies count as horror movies? I don't know about that. I think you can use a horror movie to tell any kind of fable you want to tell. Uh, but yeah, obviously, there's definitely some Tories with like. Oh, okay, I mean, you're taking there's definitely a pretty narrow view of the horror genre in some of the comments here. Maybe some specifically of the more mainstream slasher movies. I still think I could take a beaver though. But my one of my main blind spots is thinking I could take a wild animal that I couldn't actually take. I once was very committed to the idea that I could take a cheetah. Yeah, but if everyone's in, tech support Jessica recommends Chainsaw Sally. Yes, I mean it's a very diverse genre, plenty to be enjoyed. Um, but all the answers are in, so let's go through them. Okay, so bringing up the rear with only 14 kills, we've got the Texas Chainsaw Massacre's Leatherface, just by virtue of having the fewest movies in which to work. Plus, I think he has to share the load with his whole creepy family, doesn't he? Then in fourth place, we have Freddy Krueger with 42 kills, probably the shock of the night. Fourth place for Freddy, he's such an icon. But he was just pipped to third place by Chucky with 44 points. Then clocking in with a mighty 105 kills in second place, it's the OG Michael Myers. And that makes Friday the 13th Jason Voorhees, King of the Killers, a whopping 171 on screen murders. I mean, he does have the most movies. We I see lots of good recommendations in and Leprechaun we actually I very almost included in this list, although I opted for Chucky in the end. I thought Chucky was a bit more iconic, but Leprechaun, surprisingly high kill count. I think he would have also ranked higher than Freddy Krueger. Yeah, perfectly true there, Felix. I mean, Norman Bates has kill count of like two, but uh, is also just as iconic as some of those other on-screen killers. So let's see how the standings are after that round. Oh, don't scare bears has widened the gap once again. just an absolutely dominant night for Don't Scare Bears. 29 points. The Spook Chickers still sitting comfortably in second place with 22, and Joe Budin 19.5 points. Sorry, I've been drinking beer a bit too fast. Uh, so yeah, they seem to have been the top three teams of the night pretty consistently, and we are ready to move on to the final round, which will see the final standings, which is closing out with a nice and simple general knowledge round. So let's have a look. Bring up the okay, that's the answers. The last one. So general knowledge round. Everyone loves a general knowledge round. Who was the director of Tim Burton's The Nightmare Before Christmas? Was it Tim Burton, Brad Bird, Nick Park, or Henry Selick? So, who was the director of Tim Burton's The Nightmare Before Christmas? Tim Burton, Brad Bird, Nick Park, or Henry Selick? So, who was the director of that movie that was named the actual name on the posters? Tim Burton's The Nightmare Before Christmas. Secondly, relating more to the trick-or-treating side of Halloween, what is the largest candy company in the world by sales? Is it Mars, Nestle, Ferrero, or Haribo? So the options to choose between are Mars, Nestle, Ferrero, or Haribo. That's which is the largest candy company in the world by sales, and we're going on just recent years, just right now at this moment in time. Next, the third question of the final round: which species of spider is responsible for the greatest number of human deaths? So we've got the black widow, the brown recluse, the Sydney funnel web, or the Brazilian wandering spider. The black widow, the brown recluse, the Sydney funnel web, or the Brazilian wandering spider. Which of those causes the greatest number of human fatalities? Question 4. Is candy sales. So the candy, obviously, a lot of those countries are giant conglomerates with their fingers in lots of pies. We're referring specifically to like the candy division of each company. So obviously, it's not really a fair fight if we're including, some of those companies really just sell candy, and some of them sell like every kind of food. So just the candy. Question 4. Hairless cats belong to a breed named after which mythical creature? Are they named after the basilisk? Basilisk. I don't know which sound we put there. Or basilisk, sphinx, chimera, or harpy. So are those hairless cats? You know the ones. Dr. Evil had one, I think. Is it a basilisk cat, a sphinx cat, a chimera cat, or a harpy cat? And the final question of the evening. So the urban legend Chupacabra originated in Puerto Rico in the mid-90s. Something I only learned researching this quiz. I thought it was some old folklore thing. Not the case. It originated in the mid-90s after a spate of livestock killings. So what does the name mean in Spanish? Is it goat sucker, sheep biter, cow cutter, or pig killer? So does chupacabra mean goat sucker, sheep biter, cow cutter, or pig killer? So I'm going to give you just a minute. These are all multiple choice, so it shouldn't take you too long to get those in. And if I look, yeah, they are already starting to roll in. So that's the final round. So I'm waiting. Righto then. That's the final round. And while we're waiting for the last few scores to roll in and everything to be tabulated, just want to say a big thank you to everyone who showed up tonight. We're going to be doing these every Monday. So tell all your friends it's only £4 to play along and to have the chance to win a prize. Don't forget that if you're looking for more than just a pub quiz, we also have Trivia Mysteries. Those are privately hosted Zoom meeting events for you and up to 15 mates, where you'll use your trivia skills to unearth clues, crack cases, and uncover imposters. This month's spooky event is Vampire Hunter, an exciting adventure in which you and your friends must foil the schemes of Europe's most notorious vampire or become one yourself. Get more information on that at our website, which is triviamystery.com. So trivia mystery, all one word, .com. You'll find all about those trivia mystery events. And yeah, and there's also these every Monday. And we've just waiting. I think we've got, is that everyone now? I think all the answers are in. All right. So I think all the answers are in. So that means, yeah, I can start running through the answers now. Okay, so question one. Despite slapping his name all over it, I mean, I think it's pretty obvious he wasn't going to be the answer by how leading the question was. But yeah, producer Tim Burton neither wrote nor directed Tim Burton's A Nightmare Before Christmas. Those credits fell to Caroline Thompson and Henry Selick, respectively. Henry Selick was the director of that movie. Brad Bird is a, obviously children's animation directing legend. The Iron Giant, The Incredibles, all of those. Nick Park is the Aardman Studios guy, Wallace and Gromit. But yeah, Henry Selick directed A Nightmare Before Christmas and also Coraline, which is another good spooky movie. Then we've got the largest candy company in the world, candy specifically. I mean, Nestle, I would say probably the biggest company overall, but Mars beats them out for the largest candy company. Then we've got the most deadly spider, or the spider that kills the most people. So despite the Black Widow possessing a more potent venom, the huge fangs, aggressive disposition, and proximity to humans of the Sydney funnel web give it the highest death toll. The fourth question was those bald cats. They're called Sphinx cats. Like the Sphinx. The Sphinx, they don't look like the Sphinx, so I don't know why they called them that, but that's what they're called. And finally, Chupacabra was coined by a Puerto Rican comedian in 1995. Chupa meaning to suck, as in chupa chups, the lollipops, and cabra means goat, like Capricorn, the cabra, Capricorn. So chupa chup, to suck goats or goat sucker. So that is everything. He came up with he came up with the concept, Felix. That's his whole. That was the deal there. So it was the screenplay was written by Caroline Thompson, but he created it, whatever that means. He had the idea. He's the spooky guy. All right, so we can see there the final scores. So Joe Budden in third place with 24.5 points. Congratulations, Joe Budden. Good luck in a couple of weeks. We're all counting on you. In second place, holding on to that position, we've got the Spookchifkas. They've got 26 points. And then played an absolute blinder. You've got to hand it to them or him or her or them. I don't know how many people are on that team, but Don't Scare Bears with 33 points. That's a pretty solid margin of victory. So that's Don't Scare Bears with 33 points is the winner, which means you're eligible to claim a prize. So we're going to send you an email after this stream ends, just for details for sending you a prize for your well-deserved victory. But okay, cool. So that's been Bailey Williams in the chat has been Don't Scare Bears. All right, well done, guys. So we'll contact you after the stream ends to see about sending you a prize. And yeah, thanks so much for coming, everyone. Thank you for people who have just joined us for the first time this week. Thank you for people who are returning from previous streams. Yeah, tell your friends, get everyone to come along. It's been a lot of fun. And check out the website for more information on our trivia mystery events as well. Okay, thanks a lot, guys. Well, well done again to Don't Scare Bears. Well done to our runners-up, the Spookchifkas and Joe Budden. And well done to everyone. It's been a great night. Thanks for coming. And I'll see all of you and some newcomers, hopefully, next week.
Tonight, I opened up my eyes. Tonight, I'm wide awake and I'm breaking into. I can't make it. So will you save my life? Tonight, I'm talking in my sleep, and I'm tired of feeling like a secret I can keep. I'm letting it go, I say it. So will you set me free? There's no